your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Hey, Happy New Year! Welcome once again to the Bebe Means Business Show. This is the first Bebe Means Business Show of 2024. First of all, I cannot start without thanking all our faithful listeners. Some of you have been with me from the start of this journey. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for all the time that you give up. Thank you for all the investment, the comments, the advice, the encouragement, the questions, everything. The feedback has been amazing. I cannot thank you enough. This is all for you. We do it all for you just to make sure that you are able to build businesses that are successful, develop different income streams that are fruitful, and develop a generational mindset in relation to finances and wealth creation that you can leave to your, not only your children, your children's children. So welcome again to the Bebe Means Business Show. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, welcome and thank you. I'm your host, Bebe Clement, and I'm here every Tuesday between 1:30 and 2:30 on the Bebe Means Business Show. This show exists so that people can increase their financial knowledge. They can just do well, become financially free. And it's really, really important that you get all the information that you need, because I often believe that what is keeping us where we are financially is what we don't know. It's what we don't know. It's not necessarily that we're not hardworking, because we are. It's not necessarily that they're not good opportunities, because they are. Opportunities to make money are all around us. But oftentimes it is what we don't know. So we do our best on this show to bring to you all the information and the knowledge that you need. I also bring along dope guests that are, experts and successful in their field, so that they can share their knowledge, because success leaves clues. So why spend years trying to make trying to learn from your own mistakes when somebody else has gone ahead and forged the path that you can just walk in. So that's what we do here on the Bebe Means Business Show. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I run a group of small companies alongside my husband. I'm also the author of 2 books, How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and Wealth Creation God's Way. And both of them can be found on Amazon and on my website, bb@bbclement.com. Okay, right. So first of all, to say about this year, what are you doing this year about your business? Now, as always happens, the beginning of the year, everybody's like, yay, let's go. And by the middle of February, all that wanes away and we're back where we started. That cannot happen this year, guys. That cannot happen. I've kind of coined a phrase for how I feel about this year. This year is about potential realized. So we're no longer operating in the realm of potential, because that could be a cop-out. You can go years without realizing potential. This year is potential realized. Everything that you've been working towards, all the seminars you've been to, all the money you've saved, all the investments you've done, it has got to do something this year. No more time to waste. We are running out of time. So that's the phrase that I want you to keep in your mind for this year. Potential realized. So let's go. Okay. Now, the word on everybody's lips in the marketplace at the moment is, of course, AI. AI obviously stands for artificial intelligence. But AI for many conjures up a lot of negative images. For some, it signifies potential job loss. Others, it is just too shrouded in mystery that you can't even get to grips with it. You don't understand what it is, don't understand what it does, don't understand how it can help. All those kind of things are going on. And also, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear about AI. I remember listening recently, and they were saying that Kamala Harris and other industry leaders in America had meetings with the big corporations because they were concerned about the potential of AI. They were concerned. So yes, there is a threat to AI, but in as much as those concerns are valid, a lot of that fear comes from not knowing its potential. And, new industries are always shrouded in mystery. Do you remember, for those of you who are old enough, do you remember when the internet first became introduced? And nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew how it was going to work. Nobody knew how it was going to affect us. And there was a lot of fear surrounding that. But we must learn from what happened with the internet. We must learn from that. Because those who took that mystery and delved into it or dived headfirst into it, they had their first pick of the spoils. You remember the whole internet millionaires? A whole set of people, ordinary people like you and me, became very, very wealthy, literally overnight, because they took advantage of the darkness, so to speak. They took advantage of the lack of knowledge, and they were rewarded for it. So we must not let, since we have an example already in our lifetime, we must not let that happen again. We must make sure that we don't bury our heads in the sand. Besides, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. AI can be a force for good. It can be a force for good. And in this current climate, that's really what every business, especially every small business, needs to be doing. Do more with less resources. Do more with less resources. So today I have great pleasure in welcoming back to the show a very accomplished entrepreneur. She's a friend of mine. She's been on the show a couple of times speaking to us about other areas of wealth creation that she's been involved in. But today she's going to be talking to us about AI. Now, before I introduce her, I just want to make the point that one of the reasons why I'm having her on the show is to prove the point that it is important that we surround ourselves with the right kind of people. If you're wanting to do well financially, you must have the right kind of people in your life. I've learned so much from her over the years in different areas of wealth creation. And I value her opinion, her advice, and, all that she has done. It's really important that you have people who are like-minded, who are purpose-driven, who are looking to make a difference. And this is something that she's definitely doing. So without further ado, I hope that you will help join me in welcoming back to the show Sandra Ramsay-Nicol. And today she's going to be talking to us about one of her books. She's actually written 3 on AI, but she's going to be talking about one of her latest books, How to Use AI in Your Small Business. Sandra, you're welcome back to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much, Bebe. Lovely to be here yet again. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's delve right into it. Let's jump right into it. This whole AI thing. Now, you know me very well. I'm just not techie at all. I can barely just switch on and switch off my laptop, and that's about it. So for those of us who are techie phobes and have no idea what all this is about, what exactly is AI?
Okay, I'll just literally throughout the program, what I'll do is I'll be sort of try to keep things really simple. So there's a lot of technical language, and I will avoid that just so that all the listeners do understand what we're saying. AI is quite simply, you all know, it's artificial intelligence. Now, when I think of AI, I think about computers trying to do things that traditionally required human intelligence. So you're training a computer to do that. Now, previously, what we had was automation. You had automation where you simply go to a computer, you say to it, could you perform this task? And that automation is usually rule-based. So you sort of say, click on this or do this or go to Excel spreadsheet and do this. So you tell it what to do. Now, with AI, what it does is it actually minimizes any mimics human intelligence, and it says, okay, you tell me what to do, and in future I will do it for you. Okay. And the great thing about AI is that it actually will plan, it will learn from what you're doing, it will actually create things that you've asked it to do. it will actually try to mimic and try to predict what you're trying to do, and it'll actually do that for you. So that, in a nutshell, is what artificial intelligence is.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. That makes it a bit clearer. Talk us through some of the ways in which AI can make a difference to a small business. What exactly can it do for us?
Okay, it can do quite a lot. I mean, I run a small business. I run a couple of small businesses, and we've been adopting AI in our small business. And it's one of the things that I try to talk to people about. There's a wide range of areas in which you could actually adopt AI. Let's look, and I'll just go through them just very briefly. So when a business starts up, one of the first things they think about doing is, how do I get customers? AI could help you get your customers. They think about, how do they manage those customers? Again, you could use AI tools. But businesses think about, okay, how do I get a website? Again, AI can generate a website. You talk about email marketing, HR, a whole spectrum of areas you can actually use AI for in your small business, believe it or not.
Okay. So, is this something that every small business needs, or is it certain types of businesses that need AI?
Every small business needs it. Every small business can adopt it in one way or the other. Now, there are various aspects, and one of the things I would say is, when we finish the program and you're thinking about AI, it's not about sort of getting your whole organization AI savvy, so to speak. It's really about looking at areas that you think you might need an AI tool for. But every small business could do that. I mean, because every small business needs customers. Every business needs customers. So even if all you do is adopt the customer integration tools, getting to know your customers, that's at least one thing all businesses can actually adopt. Advertising as well.
Okay. So there's quite a wide range of areas in which small businesses can look at this. So you're advising that the first port of call would be to sit down and analyze practically every area of your business and see where AI could assist.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are several factors that you will need to consider before you adopt any AI tool, any AI solution.
All right, let's talk about those slightly down the line.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this in depth slightly down the line, because I think that's quite important. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first thing, I think, just to sit down and have a look and see where AI might be of use. Do potential AI companies that you might use, do they help you do kind of like a review, or is that something that you have to do internally?
You would do that internally, because really, as a small business, you are looking to save costs. So you don't want to go in where they're coming to do all of that for you. You know your business best. So I would suggest you look at what areas that you're struggling in, areas that need a bit of help. You need a bit of help, because having an AI tool is a bit like having an extra member of staff in the company. You're literally getting a third person to say, could you take on some tasks? Could you automate some tasks? Could you get some other things done? So look at areas in your business that perhaps you need some help in. Do you need some help in advertising? Do you need some help in social media? Do you need some help with your website? Do you need some help with accounting? What area do you need some help in? Now, you find that out for yourself, and then you go to a company that provides a solution. I've written a book on how a small business can use AI. I've given quite a few tips on companies to do provide different solutions. You go to them and say to them, that's my problem, that's the solution, and that's my problem. How can your system, how can your software solve that problem?
Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a little break here, and then when we come back, we can jump right into how to get your business AI ready. Okay, so at least now we know what AI is, and we also know that the actual assessment as to whether we need AI or what particular areas we need AI assisting in has to be done by us. It's something that we have to do ourselves. Okay, that's cool. All right, we'll take a short break here, and we'll be back in a minute. Don't go away. Hi everyone, it's your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bebe Means Business Show. And today I have the pleasure of having on the show Sandra Ramsay-Nicol, who has just written a book on AI. Sandra, what's the name of your book? What's the title of your book?
It's called How to Use AI to Grow Your Small Business.
How to use AI to grow your small business. Okay, I think this is one that we all need to listen to. I was reading through it. Thank you for the complimentary copy, by the way. I was reading through it, and there were some things that occurred to me. What you need to do before you even adopt AI. So let's go through some of those in detail. I think we touched on one already about needs, assessing and understanding your needs. Let's talk about the budget. What are we looking at? How are these things expensive? Because I remember a couple of years ago, we were looking at a CRM package for our law firm, and the figures were just so scary that we just abandoned the idea. What's the situation now?
Okay, now with the advent of AI, and it's a lot more commonplace now, you have a lot of software providers, a lot of platforms that are now coming trying to solve solutions. Some of them are tailored to as large companies, and many are tailored to small companies. So perhaps when you had a look at it several years ago, it was all the big players in that sector, but now you do have a lot of tools. In my book, I write a list of tools that small businesses can afford. What you will find, however, is that a lot of these platforms are all what we call software as a service. So you often have to pay for them as a monthly subscription. So you're looking at perhaps saying every month I'm going to be paying £25 a month or £40 a month or £100 a month to get those AI solutions. And you may actually need several solutions for different aspects of your business. But if you think about it, if you were to take on an additional member of staff to do all those things, you might be paying them £1,000 a month. And if you're now paying, say, £100 a month, £150 a month, because the AI tools can actually do those things, you're saving yourself quite a bit of money.
Okay, that's fine. The techie part of it, this is something that hadn't occurred to me, to be honest, was the bit that you wrote that said that you need to check what technology you already have, because some AI tools might need certain systems to work well. How does that get determined? Do the AI company come in and look at what you already have, or do you have to inform them? Because for someone like me, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Okay, yes. Well, what you do as a small business is when you look at what you'd like, okay, you actually will contact the AI company and say, listen, I've had a look at your piece of software. It looks like it could actually do what we'd like. And could you have a look at it? We have this system and that system. Could your system integrate with that? There's something called APIs. And anyone who's in IT would know that. It is literally something that allows you to connect to a different software system. Some companies will have an API that can integrate to your software system, and that makes it really easy. And some companies would say, no, our system cannot do that. But you may have another solution. But what I would also say to people is, and this is what we've done in our company, now's the time to look at solutions, AI solutions for your company, and you might upgrade your existing solution.
Okay.
We're having some
technical problems, so apologies for that.
Yeah. So if you've got an existing solution that you've perhaps been using for 5-10 years, you might be looking at updating that, upgrading that, so that you've got something that's a bit more current, so that you can actually adopt the best AI solution on the market.
Okay. Now, one of the issues that I find in small businesses is slightly removed from the whole AI thing, but it is relevant to it, is the issue of introducing change. Introducing change can be a huge problem. It can be a long, tedious process. There can be lots of resistance towards it and things like that. I think the younger generation are a bit better at this because they grew up with technology. But if you have an aging workforce, introducing any kind of automation, even if it's beneficial to the company and even to their individual jobs, it's just the psychology of the fact that it's a major change and it's a change that they're not familiar with can be a problem. How do you advise that companies get over that if they want to start automating their systems?
Okay, that's a really good question, because I do get asked, a lot of people sort of say, oh no, I'm not interested in AI, it's going to take my job. The truth is, if you don't embrace AI, somebody who's using AI will embrace it and will take your job.
Wow.
So that's the honest truth.
Wow.
If you do not embrace AI, someone who's using it will take your job. So the sooner you adopt it or embrace it or be open to it, the better. What I would say to companies is, obviously they will need to, first of all, it's important to inform your employees, tell them the benefits of it, listen to their concerns. Okay, it may mean that you lose some staff, and that inevitably will happen. You're obviously trying to save money, but it also could mean that you'll get them to retrain into other areas of the company. Now, a lot of people in jobs now should look at, if I was employed by a company today, in order to get promoted, I will begin to delve into AI. I will begin to look into AI solutions that could help me in my job. And I would go to my boss and say, I've found an AI tool that could do my job a lot better. And that's not me putting it at risk. That's me telling my employer that I'm forward looking. I'm actually here for the benefit of the company. I'm looking at the future of the company. And chances are you will get promoted. You might get promoted to be the head of AI or the person who actually instigates AI within the company. So you could find yourself in a totally new role. Be open to change, be open to learning, and be open to adopting new technology. So if, for example, you sit there and said, no, I don't want to use computers, I'd rather just stick with a typewriter, you definitely would be out of the job. Okay, so let's think about it that way. If you don't want to use a washing machine and say, I'd rather wash by hand, forget it. You know, so we've all got to change. We've all got to adopt technology. And that's why I'm in the space, because we've had to adopt it in our business and I've had to learn about it. And that's really why it's so important.
Yeah, I think the concept that I was hammering, I think it was last year or the year before, we've got to a stage now in business where you have to be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. It's right. The only way to survive. It's the only way to survive in the marketplace. Yeah, so that's quite interesting, actually. The whole idea that you could forge a new path for yourself in the market space just by understanding AI, and a lot of small companies still don't. So I think that if you are innovative in this area, like you said, rather than it spell the end of your job, you could forge a new path for yourself, because inevitably, if it's going to take your job, it's going to take your job anyway. So it will just delay a little longer. So yes, that's quite innovative. I hope that you are listening, ladies and gentlemen, and taking that on board. So if you're in a job that looks like it's dead end or it's going to go, this might be your lifeline. Start looking at AI and start, informing your employers about the skills that you have, because really, that is how people do well in the marketplace. You bring more value to the marketplace than the person sitting next to you. And I often say this, I work a lot with HR directors. I'm often amazed about the number of people who are they're all sitting on the same table in the same team. They have the same job description and they think that they all earn the same amount of money. It's not true. They don't, because your employer is not paying for the time that you spend at work. What they're paying for is the value that you bring to the time that you spend at work. So if you are able to bring value by way of understanding and implementing AI, particularly in this season, when most people still haven't got to grips with it, that is definitely a way in which to forge a path for yourself in the market. So thank you so much for that tip.
Yeah. Okay,
let's talk a little bit about training and support, because you mentioned that just now. So it's not just a matter of, okay, we're going to take on this new AI. You've got to also now find the budget for potential training.
Yes, yes. What you will find it now. Let's think about it. We thought about that when we were implementing that in our company. And one of the things that I found, which is really interesting, is because we're talking about artificial intelligence, because we're talking about saving time, saving money, being more efficient, you find that the AI actually does a lot of the work for you. So it's really saying, okay, so for example, if you go into ChatGPT, which everyone's probably heard of, it's the most popular chatbot tool. If you want to write an email and you're not quite sure, you sort of think, I'd like to spruce up this email, you just go into ChatGPT, you write your email in whatever way you need to do, you go into ChatGPT, pop it in there, and it will rewrite that for you. So there's been no training because the AI tool actually does the work. So when we look into other areas of AI, which we'll probably do later on in the show, I'll show you that it's there to save you time. It's there to actually do the work for you. So there's not a vast amount of training. There just needs to be an acceptance that I'm now going to be using this other tool to do what I probably would have done twice and taken twice as long. So the training is not a big thing. It's just really understanding the software. But if you're going to need a vast amount of training, then that software is not AI ready. You need something where the AI tool actually does the bulk of the work, but you're giving it a certain amount of input.
Okay. Do these AI companies provide support? Or let me rephrase that. How do you know which AI companies provide good support? Because I've heard some horror stories where they've adopted certain. Is it packages? Do you refer to AI as packages, or is it platforms? I'm not sure.
Platforms, solutions, tools.
Solutions, right. Platform solutions. It's important that I use the right terminology. So AI platforms or solutions or tools, and then something has gone wrong, and it then takes them ages to get support or for that to be remedied, and that's affecting the impacts on their business. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, the whole AI industry is quite new. I mean, it's fairly old, as in, some people have delved in it sort of 5 years ago, some companies even looked at it 10 years ago. But everyone in the space is pretty much fairly new. It's a new industry. It's fairly new. Yeah. So software companies are producing different platforms that could do different things, and they're not often they're not without teething problems. So they're training them, and it's learning as it goes on. So the most important thing I would say to anyone looking to adopt it is, look at the top companies in that sector. There are lots of players, lots of new players. So, for example, if you go into my book, I give you a list of top 10, 12 companies in each area. And I do that because I'm looking at the major players, So if you're saying, oh, no, I can only afford £5 a month, then of course you get what you pay for. So look for the established companies that are 3 years old, 5 years old, or companies that have been in that area. So for example, if it's CRM or whatever it is you're looking at, they're established in that area and they've now integrated AI tools to improve the efficiencies of their platform. Lots of companies are doing that. They're integrating AI tools to the existing platform and saying, oh yeah, we're web designers, but you can now have an AI web design platform. We're email marketing solution providers, but we now have an AI tool that makes it quicker for you. So look for established providers, speak to them about support, find out what they do and how quickly they get back to you. If it's just email support or just telephone support, ask all these questions before you actually adopt any solution.
Okay. Yes, right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, of course, recommendations. Look for other people in your industry who have already engaged with these platforms and are happy with the service that they're receiving, and then take it from there as well. Okay, all right. We're going to take another break in a minute, and then we'll come back. And I want to talk about the whole idea of data collection and information gathering and the effect of that. So we'll talk about that when we come back. See you in a moment. Hi everyone, it's your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into the Bebe Means Business Show, and I'm your host, Bebe Clement. And today we are talking about how AI can help you in your small business. And we have on the show Sandra Ramsay-Nicol, who has just written a book on that very topic, and she's sharing some nuggets from that book. Thank you once again, Sandra, for joining us. Can we have a quick look at the whole idea of information gathering and data and all that? Because clearly AI is going to be, collecting a whole load of that. How do you, as a small business, stay in line with legislation that surrounds data, such as GDPR? How do you do that?
Okay, that's an easy one, because quite simply, with GDPR, you do need to get permission from the customers or the people whose data you're collecting. That's the first thing. You get permission from them. So, for example, if you were using an AI to do your email marketing or to generate leads, you would actually ask for permission and say, you'd ask for a checkbox. You'd have a checkbox that says, I will be collecting your data and using it for XYZ. Please give me permission. So that will be part of any good AI customer retention or customer sales platform will have that option. So the customer says, yes, I agree that you use that data. And like any other company that collects data, you must have your security. You must have your systems are secure, your website is secure, and you've got your data secured anyway. So without AI or no AI, you do need to have a secure system with people's data in the first place. Yeah. Now, with AI, what it does do, it's very, very clever, because what it does do, it's able to collate data for you and get precisely targeted data that you do actually need for your business. So rather than you sitting there and it's a hit and miss and saying, how do I get this customer? The AI will look at what you're selling or what service you provide, and it will literally crawl through the internet and find the ideal customer for you. But before it actually gives you all that information, it would ask for permission. So there's not an issue with that at all.
Okay. Just to say on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that when you ask for clients permission to share their data, it's no longer enough for them to, they now have to be proactive in ticking to say yes. It's not enough for them to list that bit out and you assume. They have to actually tick, say, yes, we give you permission to share our data. Otherwise, you haven't got their permission. So you've got to be very careful with that. Okay, so can we go on to lead generation? What exactly is that?
Okay, lead generation is basically, when you think about it, every business needs customers. And if you were starting a new business and you've got a product or a service, one of the first things you'll be thinking about, how do I get my customers? You don't want to go knocking on doors or emailing everyone and saying, I sell this. You want to have a targeted database. You want to reach the very people who want to buy your product. And that's what lead generation is all about. And with lead generation, you're looking for the customer who wants your product or will pay the price that you want and wants your product or your service. Now, AI actually would help you do that. There are lots of software solutions that are out there in the marketplace, but what AI does, it takes it one step further. Okay, so for example, if you were looking for your customers without AI, you would have to look at it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah. So if you were, sorry, I'll go back to that. If you're sort of looking at a customer, perhaps you would start by thinking manually, you go down to your phone or go to your database and say, how do I find my customers? And it's all a very manual process. With AI, you would literally have a platform that's a lead generation solution, and it would automatically scroll through database, scroll through the internet and target your precise customers. I have a business, for example, that I have a business where children come in to do some exams, and with that business, I am only looking for parents that have got children that are age 10. Now, there's no point me marketing to someone who's got a child who's 20, who's got a child who's 5, because they're not going to buy my service. I want to target parents who have got children who are 10. And that's what an AI tool would do for you. It would look for parents that are children who are 10 and present that information to me so that I can offer them something that would entice them to begin to look at the service or the product I've got to offer.
Yeah. Okay. I was even speaking to somebody the other day, and he was saying, I was talking about proposals. There's a particular group of people, demographic, that I was looking at in particular geographical locations. And he said, yes, AI can help you do that. It will only aim at people in certain areas for you if you program it to do that. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. It really is amazing.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
You've also said that AI can help you build relationships. Speak to that. How does it help us build relationships?
Right. Okay. That's really when we talk about CRM systems. Okay. Now, I don't know how many small businesses do this, because a lot of small businesses, may have the details of customers who buy from them, and some may not. I mean, I don't know if you go to your hairdresser, does your hairdresser know your name? Do they know your date of birth? Do they know what area you live in? Some companies, obviously the online companies that sell things online, they actually will have the customer's data, they'd have the name, they'd have the email address, they'd have the address. But what you do want to do is be proactive in using that data. You need to have that information so that you can actually target that customer. Now, a lot of you may have shopped on Amazon. Isn't it just wonderful when you purchase something on Amazon? It can tell you what you've purchased. It will then show you other things that you could purchase based on your current interest. It will tell you specifically when to buy. You could subscribe and buy it in 3 months time. It's actually specifically for you. I love Amazon because literally we all have websites on Amazon. So my account is my website. I can click on my web page on Amazon and it will tell me everything I've purchased in the past 6 months, 1 month, 2 years, 3 years. And that way it's able to present things that I need. So when I go into my Amazon account, it says, do you need some envelopes? Or do you need this? Or do you need that? And it allows me to buy. So with an AI tool, it actually allows you to do that. It allows you to personalize your sales. So rather than just simply sending out an email to say, okay, would you like to buy Sandra's book on AI, on how to run a small business? And it sends that out to everybody. And if some people will not have business, some people haven't got a business, or some people's businesses are too big for my book. And in that case, I want the AI tool to actually only look for small business owners. So it's really all about trying to make sure that the AI tool captures the information of your customers and uses that information automatically. And the beauty about AI is it automates a lot of these tasks. So previously, you would manually go there and look through the database and say, okay, this customer bought this, and you'd go through your data, okay, and you write that on a piece of paper. Joe Bloggs bought that, and Tom Jones did that, or you write it on a spreadsheet. With an AI tool, it would automatically store that data and say to you, you need to sell to Joe Bloggs now because they bought that 3 months ago. They should be running out of it now. And it will target that and enable you sell your products to the customer because they actually need it, not just because you think you want to just shove it right in front of them.
I can also see how this would anticipate clients' needs as well, which of course opens up even more income streams, or selling streams to your client, because things that might not necessarily be core to your business, but are things that your client needs. And at the end of the day, even if it's not core to your business, if they need it, I'm going to sell it. So I can see how that can happen. It's good. Well, one of the things that occurred to me when I was reading your chapter on lead generation was really that this is all about growth. This is really all about growth. It's about how these systems are growing with your business and anticipating the growth and assisting you indeed to grow, which really businesses in our community don't do well. We don't seem to do well in. Can you speak to the importance of having a growth mindset for your business?
Yeah, I mean, it is, you think about it. If you have a business, it's important that you grow, because not only that, you're not worrying about, am I going to get customers? You're being proactive about getting your customers. You're investing in getting customers in the future. So a lot of small businesses may open up and just deal with the same number of customers, but it's important that you think about growing, because if you do grow your business, obviously apart from the obvious one where you get more profits for yourself, you also have your business become more valuable. So when you do come to if you do decide to sell your business, you can say, I have got 30 or 50,000 customers rather than 10,000 customers who come back every month. So it's important to think about growth. And you could, if you're sort of thinking, oh, I don't really want to grow the business, what you could do is get other people, you could actually outsource the growth, get other people to grow the business for you. So you don't necessarily have to do it all yourself. But it is important to grow, so that you're moving on and you have targets each month. So, for example, with our business, we can look at data going back 3, 4, 5 years and say we sold X amount in January last year, and look at the percentage growth each year and monitor that. And say to ourselves, well, we're hoping to get a 5% increase in sales. What can we do to get the increase in sales? What can we do differently? Do we need to look at different locations? Do we need to look at a different product? Do we need to start offering a complementary product? Do we need to look at doing something in the AI space? Just literally think outside the box, but to think about growing your business, and rather than sitting and think, I've got 5,000 customers and you keep serving the same customers each time. We need to have a growth mindset, and that way a lot more businesses become medium-sized businesses and become large businesses. Sainsbury's was once a market store.
Yes, indeed.
Store. Amazon started selling books. They only sold books. Now they sell everything in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what happened with Blockbusters. They dominated the market with their videos. They refused to grow. They refused to adopt technology. And Netflix came and took them over.
Yes. Indeed. If you refuse to change, you become a dinosaur.
Absolutely.
Yes, so true. You touched on CRM. Can you tell us a little bit more about CRM? First of all, what does it stand for? Because not everybody knows.
Okay, CRM is customer relationship management. It's really where you collect your customers' data. I talked about that a little when I spoke earlier. It's where you collect your customers' data so that you can understand what they want, why they make the choices for your products, and you can offer them products that they would obviously need and will buy from you. So that's quite important, making sure that you've got the customers' data and you understand why the customers buying from you. So that if they buy for example, if they buy something from you every year, you could say to yourself, you can predict that the following year, at that month, they will perhaps purchase the same thing from you. Have you ever perhaps been to, I'm sure we all do this, if you go to, for example, if you go to Starbucks and you've got a Starbucks app and you order a coffee, you notice that a lot of businesses say to you, could you give your loyalty cards or could you scan your QR codes? And all they're trying to do is collect information about you so that they can present you with an offer. So you go to Starbucks, you've got the app, and the next minute you're in the area, and then you get something on your phone that says you can get £2 off a Starbucks coffee, or you get something, and immediately you go to Starbucks because you've got £2 off. And that's them targeting you because they know that you like your cappuccino, or you like your tea, you like your green tea, or you like your, all the different lattes and stuff like that. So they understand your needs. Think about Netflix. You watch a film, and when you go onto the platform, it's presenting other films that you perhaps would like. And it's understanding the customer. It's building a relationship with you and putting in front of you the sort of things that you're likely to buy. Because it's noticed that you've watched that film, so you probably like the other. And it's guess what it's doing? It's selling to you. And you actually spend your money because it's presenting it. Now imagine if Netflix didn't present those films, you perhaps wouldn't spend as much money with them. You perhaps wouldn't buy as many films. You perhaps wouldn't buy as many copies. You perhaps wouldn't buy as many books from Amazon if it didn't present other books that you perhaps would be interested in.
Wow, yeah. I can also see how this can help you center, for lack of a better word, center your marketing strategy, because a lot of it in the past, I mean, this is something that is quite spoken about quite a lot, especially in the area of advertising, where they say that about 70% of advertising doesn't work, but they don't know which part of the 70% it is that doesn't work, which is why, there are every Super Bowl, there are every football match, because they're not sure which part of it is working. Now, they can afford to do that, the big boys can afford to do that, but as a small business, you can't afford to let 70% of your advertising budget be going over the head of your customers. But I can see now how AI will help you focus the advertising on the right people or in the right area. One of the things that we often do as small businesses, is that we assume to know what it is the client wants.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we're wrong. When, just like you said, we're not sure exactly why the client is buying from us, but they're buying. And the example I give is one of the examples I give in my first book, How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, where I was talking about sometimes me and my family go out to a Nigerian restaurant, and that in my area there are about 3 Nigerian restaurants that we could go to, but we go to another one that has absolutely nothing to do with the price, because it's actually more expensive than the ones in my area. It takes about 30 minutes for us to get there, 30 minutes back, and per plate is probably about £10 more per plate. But we go there for reasons that have nothing to do with price. We go there because, one, I like the ambience. 2, when my children were young, my children used to get up and want to dance, which you can't do in every restaurant and that kind of thing. But these ones were very family oriented, and it didn't faze them and things like that. So there are all kinds of reasons why we used to go to that restaurant. So if you were about to open a Nigerian restaurant in my area and you're thinking, well, the reason why people would buy from me is price, but let me undercut my competition, you totally missed the boat, because the reason why we're going to the other one had nothing to do with the price in the first place. Yeah. So I can see now from what you've said that AI would help you suss out why exactly is this client buying, and then focus your advertising or your marketing on that in particular. So I can see that now. So thanks for that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, because if you were using something like, let's say, if you're looking at email marketing, for example, which many small businesses should be doing, email marketing, for example, we've got social media, but let's just talk about email marketing. If you're sending out emails, you don't just simply want to send out an email to everyone in your database. You want to send out an email that's a bit more targeted, and that's where AI comes in. It will look at the customer. It will look at AI would actually go as far as going, looking on the internet and saying, okay, that person's interested in this. It might be nothing that's related to your business, but it knows that person's interested in that. It notices that person, and it will put 2 and 2 together and say, people who are interested in X tend to be interested in Y. Yes. So it will pull that customer data through to you, asking you to present it with something that will capture that customer. And one of the things that I'll say is give out a freebie, give out valuable information, give something for free to pull the customer in, to let them know that you've got something that's worth their attention. For example, on our website, we'll give out a free ebook that gives parents a lot of valuable information. So have something, because remember, these are cold customers. These are customers who know nothing about you, and you're trying to get them to purchase from you. So you've got to give them a reason to buy from you. So if you've got a product, there's no point just shoving a product down their face. Try to solve a problem. Try to say to them, okay, so if you've got a product, let's say the product's let's say it's a vacuum cleaner or something. There's no point just giving them and saying you're a vacuum cleaner. Tell them about problems with vacuum cleaners. They're heavy, they're cumbersome. And tell them that, do you find your vacuum cleaner really heavy? Do you sort of find that, you've got the hassle of emptying the bag and so on and so forth? And tell them that there's a solution to that. Tell them give them a range of vacuum cleaners on the market, tell them the various prices, tell them the benefits of having a vacuum cleaner. And then at the end, tell them about your vacuum cleaner and why yours is bagless, yours is light, yours is that. So you've got to give value before you actually sell. It's no point just bombarding them with, buy my vacuum cleaner, it's the best. You've got to help them along the journey.
Yeah. I feel that's another marketing strategy that we don't employ as often as we should. Just presenting a product or a service does not necessarily incentivize people to buy. But if you are able to highlight pain points, This is where they are, and this is what is wrong with where they are. So let's say, for example, I do a lot of training, and let's say you set up a small business. So I would talk about you're stuck in a 9 to 5, you're not earning as much money, you hate your boss hates you, you can't stand your colleagues, all those kinds of things. And I haven't even mentioned my product at all. I've just highlighted for them the pain points.
That's right.
And then show them, move them from where they are to where they would like to be.
Yeah.
And then show the customer how your product or your service is the bridge getting them to where they want to be. That's another marketing strategy that we don't use often, and I would encourage that you do, because it's very effective. Most customers do not buy with their head. They don't. They buy with their emotions. We're emotional purchasers. And so you have to be able to appeal to emotions. It's like when they advertise a sports car. You would think that in advertising a sports car, they would pop the hood and show, the potential buyer, this is where the oil goes, this is the horsepower, that kind of thing. They don't do that. They show a really good-looking guy with a nice watch. Then they might show the car, and there's this really beautiful woman sitting in the car waiting for the guy to come down and see her, because she's got nothing else to do but to wait for the guy. And then they ride off into the sunset. Why do they do that? Because they're appealing to his emotions. They're not selling him a car, they're selling him a dream.
That's right.
So these kind of things are really important, guys, when you're thinking about your business. You have to think outside the box. You really do. We're going to come to an end in a little while, but before we do, Sandra, can you touch on AI and social media? Because obviously, even if you're not into AI, most people are now into social media. Albeit some of us are still reluctant, but even then, we've come kicking and screaming into the social media space. So, can you talk a little bit about AI and social media?
AI is absolutely fantastic for social media. If there's one area that I would say AI excels, it is social media. If you're a bit like me, you're not the person that wants to put out your face out there on YouTube videos and talking all the time, that's where AI comes in. It is absolutely fantastic. You can do faceless videos. You can use an AI tool to actually have a video and have somebody else. You can have an avatar. You can have a voice. You can have somebody. You don't even have to have an avatar. You could just have the images. And you've got AI tools out there that would literally, at the click of a button, all you do is you upload your text, say what you want to do, have your script of what you'd like to promote or what you'd like to say to the customer, pop it into an AI video platform, and it will actually produce a video in minutes. And you could have that video on YouTube in no time. So if you're in business, if you're a small business and you don't have a YouTube channel, you should have one, because a YouTube channel's there too. YouTube, as you may know, is a search engine. It's a bit like Google. It's like Google. It allows customers to find you. It's the most popular in terms of views. People go in there to watch lots of YouTube videos and to find products and to find how to do things and to find what to buy and how things work and what's in the market. And it's out there. It's a fantastic tool. Every business should have a YouTube channel, and that channel should educate your customer base. So regardless of whether you've got customers or not, if you're in any particular sector, you should have a YouTube channel educating people on the service or the product that you do have. So if you're a tutor, just give them some tips. If you're in business or you've got a product, tell them tips on the product. Again, it's not about selling. It's about educating and giving value to start with. And then obviously you'd have your link if you wish to buy, but you must put it out there as educating and giving a lot of value before you go selling. So social media, so talking back to your question, AI is fantastic for that. Now, some of us get put off by the whole AI thing because you've got social media, because you've got to think about posting on Facebook, you've got to think about posting on Instagram, posting on X, posting on LinkedIn, posting on YouTube, and so on. It's really easy. With AI now, you get AI platforms where you actually have one post, and what you do is you retarget. That post automatically gets posted onto Facebook, onto LinkedIn, onto YouTube, and so on. Obviously, some of them might need a little bit of tweaking when you do that, but it allows you to do that as a one-stop, clicking a button. Interestingly, one of the things that's been said around, that's been mentioned, is the fact that with the introduction and with the revolution of AI, with the AI revolution, I should say, one of the industries that's purported to suffer the most is social media managers. Apparently, AI could literally get rid of all the social media companies out there because it's going to be so easy now for you to just have your post. AI can actually generate the post for you. It would look at your customer base. AI could suggest what you need to post. So you no longer have to sit there and think about what you need to post. AI could do it. Go to ChatGPT and say to ChatGPT, could you give me a 5-day or 7-day post of what I need to post? I'm a tutor or I sell this product. Can you give me 7 posts for Monday to Sunday? It will tell you exactly what to do. It'll say, make Monday Motivation Monday, Tuesday, Gift Tuesday, Wednesday, that. And it will tell you exactly what you need to post. And all you do is you copy and paste it into an AI platform tool, press the button, and it will automatically post it to all your platforms. So to be honest, the social media managers actually are at risk of losing their businesses, but there are going to be a lot of people who will not adopt AI, who will still go to social media managers, who will be smart and do that same job in a fraction of the time and still charge them the same amount.
Yes.
As a small business, you can do it in-house now. But if you do have a social media manager, you're paying £100 a month to manage your social, say to them, I would suggest that I would like a fee reduction because of AI tools. And if they're not using AI tools, they're not currently, you need to go somewhere else. But you can negotiate a fee if you don't want to do it. But it's so much easier now because the AI tools would actually do that for you. AI tools would generate the images, will generate the photos. All you've got to do is say what sort of photo you'd like. I was trying to generate a photo the other day. It wasn't excellent at it, and I wanted a photograph. And you just simply write a text. I would like a photo of a cat jumping over a car and the car crashing in the woods. And it will generate a photo doing exactly that. Previously, you'd have to sit there and scour around the different websites looking for the images. You just need to prompt it, give it prompts and give it the text. It will do that for you. It will do the post for you. It will suggest, it will do the videos for you. It will suggest the text. It will do the write-up for you.
Wow.
I'm giving a social media tool, and when it got to the point, you're sort of thinking, okay, what do I say? And remember, you've got to use your hashtags, and you're thinking, AI tool would actually give you the best hashtags to use for that post. So you're not sitting there thinking, oh, what hashtags should I use for that? It will come up with a text. It will come up with the hashtags. All you've got to do is press a button.
Wow. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, on the press of a button, we're going to come to the end of the show. But before we do, Sandra, please, where can we find the books? What's the name of the other books?
I've got Smart Moms Don't Ignore AI. I've got
a copy there we can have a look at.
Sorry?
I've got a copy there we can see.
Yes, just one moment. Smart Moms Don't Ignore AI. Can you see that?
Yes, we can. Smart Moms Don't Ignore AI. Okay. What's the other one?
I've also got How to Get a Job Using AI. I'll see if I've got a copy nearby. How to Get a Job Using AI. And of course, How to Use AI to Grow Your Business. Now, How to Use AI to Grow Your Business is not written as a book, as in, a traditional book, because business owners don't want to read, a book that's just a book. Business owners need a manual. Business owners need to be able to tick. They need to be able to write notes. They need to be able to say, yes, I've gone through that particular point, and so on. So the book actually is more of a manual. Gives you lots of lists, lots of pointers. I give you a lot of websites to go to for different solutions. It is a comprehensive manual that allows you to go through each section. So, for example, I've got AI tools, so I can do an explanation, and it is quite comprehensive. You can literally purchase a manual and say, okay, these are the areas that we could look at for our AI, but we're just going to focus on one to start with. The manual, go through your manual, look at just that section, work through it with your team, look at the benefits of using AI, look at everything I've actually written in the manual, and then say to yourself, These are the top 10 solutions. You can contact the companies, go to their website if they work for you. A lot of these tools that I do suggest have free trials. Some have free trials. Some have free options where it's free but for limited functionality. So you could actually test out the AI tools and say, okay, it's completely free. You don't have to pay any cost, or you get it free for 10 days or 14 days. And remember to cancel if you don't want it, of course, but it's all in the manual, and you've got a space for writing notes, just answering questions and audit things you need to look at before you actually adopt the tools. And that's what that is. Now,
and where can we get
yes, from Amazon?
On Amazon?
It's not yet on Amazon, no, because it's just been completed. However, it's going to be, you can email me, and we will post them to you. So be on our website and we'll email us, and we will place an order and we'll actually post that to you. So the best way to contact me at the moment is by email, and we could get that out to you.
What's the email address?
The email address is books by Sandra RN. Books by Sandra RN. RN meaning that's for my initial Ramsay-Nicol, Sandra R and N @gmail.com.
Okay. Books at sandrarn@gmail.com. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, books by Sandra.
Thank you very much for joining us again today. Sandra, it's been a pleasure as always to have you on the show. It's always so informative. You are just, I don't know, a walking encyclopedia in whatever area you decide to speak in. So thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with the world. We really appreciate you and all that you're doing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Just before you go, to say, if we can have it up on the screen, that I'm going to be doing, that's it. Those of you who are of the faith, I'm doing this Marketplace Christianity. I'm working with Trem, which is a church in the UK. I'm working with them between January and April, and we're going to be doing Marketplace Christianity every Wednesday. I and some of my friends, and Sandra will also be coming along. We're going to be speaking about different areas of business, from before you even get a job, from how to write your CV up to what you're supposed to be doing in the job, how to get promoted and improve your career, starting up a different business and starting up and developing different income streams. The whole spectrum of the marketplace, we're going to be covering it. Listen, I am talking thousands and thousands worth of information and advice being given for free. So join us every Wednesday night between 7 and 8 p.m. Not tomorrow, by the way, starting again from next Wednesday. So please join us. We're going to be there for 12 weeks. And I'm also going to be teaching at that church for 2 Sundays a month, the last 2 Sundays of every month between now and March. It's in full, and more the details are there. If you are able to join us, please do, but it will definitely be worth your while. And it will help you improve your skills, your knowledge, your ability to create wealth in the marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Now go make some money. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Bebe Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, Bebe Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Get ready for